And now we're going to look at the accuracy of Bible prophecy. The accuracy of Bible prophecy. Look at me now. It's very important that we understand the Bible is a prophetic book. It's estimated about a quarter of the Bible is talking about future events. A lot of it has already been fulfilled. And we're going to look about how Jesus fulfilled a huge number of Old Testament prophecies during his lifetime and at his death and his resurrection. So let's look with great interest at this prophetic book, the Bible, which is a supernatural book inspired by God himself. Let's look at this. The accuracy of Bible prophecy. The Bible is a prophetic book, 25% of it referring to future events. And only God can foretell the future. Don't go to spiritualists or seances or all that stuff. It's condemned by God. It's an abomination to God in Deuteronomy 18. Only God knows the future, so go to him for the future. Jesus said, before Abraham was born, I am. That's in John chapter 8. This confirms that Jesus existed before the birth of Abraham. The Bible states that Jesus is God and pre-existed everything. That's in John chapter 1, verse 1. It says, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Jesus is God. Don't be in any doubt about that. Now we're going to look at the amazing accuracy of Daniel chapter 9, verses 24 to 27, commonly known as Daniel's 70 weeks. All right? It starts off with 70, and here we go, so Daniel 9, 24, 70 weeks are determined for your people and your holy city. Well, 70 weeks are determined for your people. Who are God's people? The Jews. And where's the holy city? Answer, Jerusalem. All right? Now, this is very interesting because it predicts with complete accuracy the year in which Jesus would come to Jerusalem and be executed or crucified, but not for himself, according to the scriptures. This is what it says in Daniel 9. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublesome time. And after the 62 weeks, the Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself. Now that's fairly complicated, but I'm going to make it very easy for you, and easy for me too, because this is not my teaching. It comes from Roger Price, a very famous Bible teacher from Chichester Christian Fellowship, and my church is very closely related to Chichester Christian Fellowship. I'll tell you what actually happened. In 458 BC, in Nehemiah, the Nehemiah of the Bible, was in Babylon, all right? And he asked the king at the time, Artaxerxes Longimanus, that means Artaxerxes with the long hand, for permission to go to Jerusalem and to rebuild it. And it's recorded in Nehemiah chapter 2, verses 4 and 5, and this is what it says. If it pleases the king, and if your servant has found favor in his sight, let him send me to the city in Judah. King, and if your servant has found favor in his sight, let him send me to the city in Judah where my fathers are buried, so that I can rebuild it. So there we have Nehemiah asking permission to go and build the walls of Jerusalem, and that permission was granted. Now, it's a little bit complicated, this, but I'm going to try to make it very simple, because God is a God of sevens, and the word, when it says weeks or years, the actual Hebrew word is Shabuah, all right? So all these years, the 490 years in total, are broken down into sevens, or in Hebrew, Shabuah, all right? There's the first period, a middle period, and the final period. The first period is 7 Shabuah, which is 49 years, and that's when Jerusalem was actually rebuilt, all right? The middle period was 62 Shabuahs, and that's 434 years. And the final Shabuahs was the ministry of John and Jesus. John the Baptist had a ministry of 3.5 years, and so did Jesus, making a total of 7 years. So at the bottom there, starting from the date when Nehemiah was given permission by Artaxerxes Longimanus to go and rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, we add on from 458 BC, you had 49 years, all right? And then 434 years, which actually takes you to 26 AD, all right? And what happened at 26 AD? Well, that's the start of John the Baptist's ministry, which lasted for 3.5 years, but he was executed. And then there was another 3.5 years when Jesus ministered around Galilee and elsewhere. So we have a total of 490 years from 458 BC to 33 AD. All right? So basically 490 years from 458 BC to where? To 33 AD. So here's a summary. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem, people were watching for this command. People who understood Daniel's 70 weeks were watching and waiting for the command to be given. They said, when that happens, we'll know that the Messiah will come and be executed not for himself. And it says after the 62 weeks, after the middle bit, the Messiah will be cut off, but not for himself. And that's exactly what happened. All right? Just to summarize, in effect, that to know when the Messiah would come, you only had to look out for the date in the future when Nehemiah was given permission by Artaxerxes Longimanus to go and rebuild Jerusalem. That happened in 458 BC. And then, said Gabriel, at 483 years, and the ministry period of the Messiah would start. But John the Baptist's ministry started in 26 AD for 3.5 years, followed by the ministry of Jesus for 3.5 years, making a total of 7 years. But it says, Gabriel says that the Messiah will be executed not for himself. That is the gospel. The blood of Jesus cleans us from all sin. Now, the Jews actually rejected both ministries. The Jews rejected John the Baptist and Jesus, and that's why there's going to have to be a rerun of the last 7 years during the tribulation period. And we cover that in our other teaching on the pre-tribulation rapture in our generation. The conclusion from all of this is that the Bible is supernatural, because the Bible and only the Bible predicts the actual year in which Jesus would come to Jerusalem and be executed not for himself.